bütün dünya sadece sağlıkta değil, yapay zekanın, robotların her boyutuna hayatımıza girdiğinde neleri değiştireceğini, hem yaratacağı konfor alanını hem de tehditleri paylaşıyor ve tartışıyor. Yapay zekanın bu adının havalı jargonunun yanında tabii asıl anlamı insan zekasını gerektiren işleri yapmak için bilgisayar sistemlerinin kullanımları diye tanımlıyorlar. Evet, doğru. Yani günün sonunda Allah'ın yaratmış olduğu muazzam donanımımızın bir kopyasını üretmeye çalışıyor insanoğlu. Yani insan sabahki seansların hepsinde tüm hocalarımızın, tüm değerli katılımcıların bahsettiği gibi olmazsa olmaz en önemli değeri insan. Bunun önemini ve değerini zaten bütün dünya farkında. Yapay zeka için ülkelerin stratejik bütçelerinden bahsettik. Milyarlarca avro ve dolardan bahsediliyor. Her ülke kendi stratejisini belirlemiş ve yola çıkmış durumda. Ama o kadar güzel bir haber var ki işin en önemli kısmının insanoğlunun farkına varmış. Massachusetts MIT Üniversitesi yapay zeka okulu yatırımına 1 milyar dolar yatırım yapacağını açıklayarak çalışmalarına başladı. Şu an kısa sertifika programlarıyla başlattığı yapay zeka eğitimlerini 2022 yılında komple tam donanımlı bir okulu hizmete atmış olacak. Dolayısıyla evet, teknoloji, üretim, bütün bu çalışmaların hepsini yapacak olan siz değerli hem akademisyenler, hem mühendisler, hem bilim adamları, hem sağlık üreticileri, hem devlet temsilcileri, tüm liderlerimiz, hem kullanıcısı biz olacağız, hem yaratıcısı biz olacağız. Demek ki evet, 1 milyar avroluk bir yatırımı insan üzerine, asıl okul eğitimi üzerine yapmakta çok doğru bir karar almışlar. Çünkü bütün bunu hayata geçirecek öncelikle insanı eğitmek ve o noktaya getirmemiz gerekiyor. Şimdi ikinci günün ilk panelini GE Healthcare paneli olarak hazırladık. Hastane komuta merkezleri yapay zekanın insan zekasıyla buluştuğu yer içerikli bir panelleri olacak. Çok değerli GE Healthcare Partners komuta merkezleri partneri Gerald Dunstan bize bu panelin komple sunumunu yapacak. Baştan sona bütün bilgileri paylaşacak. GE Healthcare Partners, GE'nin global anlamda aynı zamanda bu teknoloji üretiminin yanında danışmanlık hizmeti de veriyorlar. Ülkelere, devletlere, kurumlara, kuruluşlara, şehir hastaneleri ve özel sektöre. Sayın Gerald Dunstan da evet, GE Healthcare danışmanlık consultancy kısmının partnerlerinden. Please Gerald, would love to have you on the stage. Ve alkışlarınızı.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for firstly returning to the plenary after such a lovely lunch. I'm very grateful. The drop-off is usually much greater than this, so I'll try and keep you interested and hopefully slightly entertained. As you can tell, I'm from the UK. I'm very grateful to Lawrence this morning mentioning Brexit quite so early in the programme. I'm not going to mention it any further. I'm glad to hide out in Istanbul for a few days away from UK politics. I'm going to tell a story today a little bit about where command centres have come from, what are command centres and why GE has invested in creating them, and also share a story with you from one of our clients from Bradford University Teaching Hospital, a hospital in the north of England. You're not only going to hear from me, I've got a short video where you're going to hear from our client, from the team at Bradford, from frontline caregivers. They have very strong northern accents. Bradford is in the north of the UK, so you'll find that both interesting and amusing, I hope. And I'm really grateful for having the opportunity to speak with you. I'll be around for the next couple of days, so if you have any questions, please come and grab me. So, I want to contextualize it that I think the Turkish system has made huge advances over the last few years with the HTP. I've done some work recently in the Turkish healthcare system, and it's a great healthcare system that I think has great and very many similarities with the UK system, and hence we're sharing a story from the NHS rather than from one of the US systems. You're facing many challenges and are trying to achieve lots of the things that every other country in Europe, and particularly the UK, are grappling with, trying to integrate care better, trying to coordinate care better. trying to have a primary care system work more effectively for its patients, and also consistently improve the quality of care, improve access, improve clinical outcomes, and improve patient experience. Things that we've heard lots about during the course of this morning. And all of that, inevitably, back to Lawrence, requires teamwork and coordination. And our belief is, and you'll hear more about this, is that the command center, the analytics and insight that creates can help engender that teamwork. So you're grappling with the same system issues that we are. Care isn't coordinated. Integrated care is still a great buzzword, but it doesn't really happen as well as it should. And quality of care varies. Bradford is in the north of England. The life expectancy versus London is about 12 years gap over a 2-hour drive. That's pretty depressing as a UK citizen. We are all massively struggling with workforce issues as well. We've had lots of nurses leave the UK because of Brexit. We're struggling to recruit as a result of Brexit, and as a result of that, there are huge gaps in our workforce. And there's also the rise of non-communicable diseases, lots of diseases linked to lifestyle choices, etc., and the aging population demographic, which is causing much greater pressure on both our healthcare systems. So we have more in common than we have in difference. I think that would be the message I'd share, and hopefully that will mean that the Bradford story resonates. So, you're entering the next phase of the health transformation program, and my belief and our belief is that people, analytics, and action are the things that are going to drive that next wave. And I hope you'll agree with me that the command center ideas or something like it can help you. So, what we see in healthcare systems is that the problem isn't a lack of data. We've all got lots and lots of data swimming around, but there's almost too much of it. There's overload. And what is there is in silos, and it's not actionable. You know, teams aren't able to work across data sets. And it's not that we've got insufficient resources, it's more that we're deploying them in a way that doesn't make the most of their skills or in the most efficient manner. We have people who aren't working at the top of their license, to use a phrase. And it's not that processes aren't ineffective, but they're fragmented and broken. Clinical pathways have too much variation, and we have patients bouncing around a healthcare system and a healthcare process that isn't necessarily sympathetic to them. That's affecting outcomes, but it's also crucially affecting patient experience. So, command centers. We always show this image, and I think it's a great one. For those of you who haven't recognized it, and I'm sure everybody does, this is the command center at NASA. It's a couple of years old now, but you can see at the top there, right at the top, mission control. What we've got here is a group of people who are all working on a common goal. They're trying to get a rocket to wherever it's going, and they're trying to get it back, and everybody inside should survive the journey, all going well. But they've all got different roles. I know nothing about space travel, never been interested as a kid, but you know, you've got people who are involved in the rocket going up, you've got people involved in the rocket while it's up there, and you've got people involved in the rocket when it comes down. But they're all in there at the same time, working on the same issues, even though they have different roles and functions, because they need to be coordinated. Because one part of that can't go wrong, and the rest of the mission go okay. So you have people with very different roles, but you'll all see they're looking at one big screen at the front, one version of the truth that they can all agree on. That is the situation at this point in time, and the situation we need to be responding to. You'll notice their screens in front of them, their monitors, are all showing things slightly different to what's up on the big screen. And that's the more detailed stuff that they're interested in, that they need to be on top of, but they need to be bearing it in mind with the context of what's up on that big screen. And when we come to it, you'll see that the clinical command centers and other command centers, not just NASA, bear all those kind of similar hallmarks. So we've got four very, very different command centers here. We have the Chinese Railway Dispatch Center, a huge organization running trains right across China. You have the KLM Operations Center for the KLM airline, IBM's operations down in Brazil, and because we've got to have a sporting analogy, the NFL command center in the bottom left, which I believe Lawrence will tell me is something to do with a funny version of football. What we see in all of these is that they are systems dealing with complexity. I can't think of anything too much more complicated than the Chinese railway system. It must be like trying to manage spaghetti. And there's lots of interdependencies. You know, a train chain from here can have a knock-on effect on a train from there. And there's also time constraints. They need to make decisions here and now. And again, what we see, similar to NASA, is we see a team that all have different roles, co-located, using real-time intelligence, the big screen up in front of them, and they're all taking coordinated action. They're all in the same room. If they have a problem, they can turn around to the guy or lady to their left or to their right and say, hey, how are we going to deal with this, because we need to work on it together. So bearing all of that in mind, that sort of context setting, let's look at the evolution of our clinical command centres. So first and foremost, what is a command centre? We encourage clients, and I'd encourage you to think about it as a new department that brings all the decision makers that you currently have in the hospital, but fragmented around it, the matrons on wards, the sisters on wards, the people running departments, and puts them all in the same room so that they can coordinate and work together more effectively. It has that big screen of analytics up in front of them to help them make real-time decisions. It doesn't make it for them, but it helps them see what's urgent, see what's prioritized, and see what they need to engage with from a decision point of view. And again, because they're co-located, it allows them to problem solve and work on it together. But they're doing it using standardized routines and protocols. They know when that light goes red, what they need to do, because they've trained